Hello everyone and welcome to the Homestead Speedway for the running of the Fields 100, the season opener of the Dr. Pepper Dash Series season. This is the third annual Fields 100. Both of them have been won by our pole sitter, Austin Johnson, who won his Heat 1 earlier this weekend. Ricky Freeman Jr. starts alongside him in the number 9 for KCM. He won Heat number 2. Riley Wilkin, Heat number 3 winner. And Cody Goforth, who put a shocking drive in to get Heat number 4. And Larry Hagan, the winner of Heat number 5. That's your top 5 here at Homestead. Oliver Kingley makes his debut for Columbus Autosport in 6th. Hayden Mears in 7th and Anderson Reed in 8th. Colin Teague 9th and Devin Fair 10th. You got a ton of fast drivers here. 35 out of the 46 entries are in this field. 11 drivers went home after a very rough LCQ for some. And of course, a lot of drama coming out of that one. But if you're going to win the Fields 100, you got to go through the best who's ever ran it. Austin Johnson, an average finish of 1st in his 2 starts here with 2 race victories. Looking for his 3rd today. And to be the first driver, really, to just continue a streak in one of the biggest events of the season. The Valvoline 200, Crown Royal 300, Sundrop 500. They don't have streaks yet. Of course, the SD 500 has only ran 1 year, but no one's really won those multiple times. And Austin Johnson's coming down here. Yes, it's against a lot of rookies and younger drivers in the field, but an established veteran like Austin Johnson still has to fight other veterans like Goforth, Hagan, Anderson Reed. He's fought Peter Onjak here before. Jay Jefferson he beat last year. So it's going to be interesting to see if Johnson can win it for 3 years in a row. But you know some of these drivers are going to be moving him out of the way in a hurry to try to get that race victory. This is not just a one-off for some of these top guys. This is part of the point standings and a chance at a championship if you can win this race and start your season off very strong. We got a ton of drivers in the field ready to go racing. Austin Johnson and Ricky Freeman Jr. on the front row. We'll see if Johnson can hang on and win it. You also have other leeches like Adam Mitchell, the season won the first year of the Dr. Pepper Dash Series. He won the championship there. You got Ryan Butcher sitting back there, Lotus Disparito, Matthew Eves, and more throughout this field, as well as a bunch of new faces in these cars. And your defending Molson Modified champion Alex Parker in the 61 that almost won the title last year as well. 35 drivers for 30 laps here at the 1.5-mile oval. Homestead always puts on a show, and the Fields 100 especially. Let's go ahead down trackside for the commands to fire the engines here at the Fields 100 in the Dr. Pepper Dash Series.
Drivers, start your engines!
With that, the engines are fired. 35 cars roar to life for 30 laps around here. Got a full pace lap to watch these guys get their cars ready, get their minds ready for an all-out brawl here, 30 laps at Homestead. We saw a lot of great moves on the opening start of the race in the heats. A lot of guys diving to the inside trying to make those spots up. We'll see how it is. The Fields 100 usually just a little bit calmer than the heats in the LCQ. You're not really having to push too hard. You want to win, but realistically, if you're starting in 30th or 35th, you're just lucky to be in the race. I don't think in such a small time without pit stops, you're not going to make it up there and win this race starting at the back. But anything can happen. The only problem is, again, Austin Johnson's in the field, and he starts up front. He doesn't have to drive through the field like he has the last 2 years. He is on pole and showing that this 51 team it won't sweep the weekend. He didn't get a pole position in qualifying, but he has won a heat, and if he wins the race, I think that'll be the first driver to do winning heat number 1, starting from the pole and winning the Fields 100. 35 cars in this field, a lot of brand new faces, a lot of veterans in the field as well. We're going to see a lot of good racing in these next 30 laps. Austin Johnson, Ricky Freeman Jr. leading us down. Riley Wilkin, Cody Goforth, Larry Hagan, Oliver Kingley, Hayden Mears, Anderson Reed, Colin Teague, and Devin Fair, your top 10. 30 laps ahead of us at Homestead. Green flags in the air, and the Fields 100 is underway. Now you're already seeing Hagan pushing all over Riley Wilkin, but Wilkin's going to slow him up. So we'll go forth as Johnson is going to be the one in the 51 to jump out to a lead, but Wilkin fights back. Ricky Freeman Jr. fights back. Now you got to watch these opening restarts, 2x2. This will be, or opening start of the race, 2x2. That's the only time in this race you'll see it. So you'll see a lot of aggressive moves as Wilkin powers off the corner. He's going for the lead on Austin Johnson, taking the fight to him in that Henson Racing 23. And now Ricky Freeman Jr. trying to push Johnson. Johnson falling back on the outside, back to second, as Goforth really messes up the exit of the corner. It's going to put Johnson clear into second, 2 and 3 wide up front as they're all making moves to get through this field, and we stay green at least for lap number 1. But now Austin Johnson hungry to get around Riley Wilkin, who just took the fight and passed the most dominant driver at Homestead in NSDCA history. Side by side for third is Goforth and Freeman Jr. 2 cars in the wall. That's Matthew Eves, and it looks like Nelson Reeves in the 99. So that'll be our first caution of the day. That's what the problem is here. It's restarting too wide. That's going to be tough to keep it clean with 35 cars. Now Austin Johnson to the inside of Wilkin. He's going to slide it up, trying to take that spot away before they make it to the caution, but he might have to wait for the restart. Wilkin is going to lead him back around. Johnson, Freeman Jr., Goforth, and Hagan, your top 5 there. And Johnson's going to tuck into second, but Matthew Eves for Ford Performance Racing, some heavy damage to the 25, and that is not Nelson Reeves. It's Stephen Colin in the 46. That's Reeves' car, the 46 car. That's 2 cars now torn up early, and that's the problem with Homestead. I mean, it's so slick. You have so many lines you could be taking. The cars don't handle that well, so you get on the gas just a little too early. It could push you up into someone and put you in the wall. But Matthew Eves took a pretty hard hit into the outside wall. It looked like he hit head on. Thankfully, he's able to drive that car around, trying to continue his way through the Fields 100. So already 3 laps in, our first caution of the day. Riley Wilkin, Austin Johnson out in front as Wilkin got the jump on the start. We'll see if Johnson can get the jump on the restart. 2 cars torn up today. Stephen Colin and Matthew Eves. We'll get a quick replay. Bring us back to the action in the Fields 100. First into the day here at the Fields 100. Matthew Eves in the 25, right to the inside of the 46 of Stephen Colin. He's going to wash up the track like he did in the modifieds and take a vicious hit head on into the outside wall. Thankfully, both drivers continuing on in this event. Back live here at the Fields 100. Riley Wilkin in your race lead. Austin Johnson second. Ricky Freeman Jr. third. Cody Goforth fourth. Larry Hagan fifth. Anderson Reed, Hayden Mears, Oliver Kingley, Colin Teague, and Devin Fair your top 10. Top 10 hasn't really changed much. Just the positions have changed since the opening start of the race. Kyle Bisceglia, fastest in qualifying, started this race 11th. Currently sits 11th. Ryan Butcher, Luke Evans, Lotus Disparito, Daniel Bouchard, the 47 of Adam Mitchell, Mathis Wells, Colton Jacobs, Nelson Reeves, and Alex Parker, your top 20. Rest of the field going on around. ICNA commit in the 18, a fuel system issue. They brought that 18 down pit road. Got that repaired, ready to go back racing. 6 of 30 complete here, coming around to complete lap number, or get on to lap number 7. We'll have 24 laps to go in this event when we go back racing. Wilkin with that opening restart jump on the 51. Could get him a race win, but Johnson's going to be very aggressive on this restart, probably to take the race lead back. Ricky Freeman Jr., Cody Goforth, and Larry Hagan also back there. Some established drivers all have DPDS experience or higher experience in the NSDCA. Riley Wilkin up in front, though, in the Toyota Camry, number 23. Coming down the front straightaway, we're getting the green flag back in the air, racing once again at the Fields 100, and looks like he's going to get a good jump against Johnson. And that's what you need to do. You got to build up a gap so that 51 doesn't drive right back under you into turn number 1. As you see, Reed and Mears, they're going to take the fight to Larry Hagan. That's battle for that 5th position. Freeman Jr. a little slow off the corner, going to get Johnson to have no pressure on him as Goforth. Reed and Hagan might take him 3 wide for this 3rd position down the back straightaway as Johnson's going to make the move. Got right up to the quarter panel of the 23, forces him high, and now Johnson in the 51 is going to look back to the inside, looking for this race lead. Going to get it right there coming off of 4. Big run by the 51, and he's going to take the lead back here at the Fields 100 as they cross the line. 8 laps now in the books as Ricky Freeman Jr. is going to come right back against Wilkin. That's side by side for second. Not going to happen as they go single file through the corner. Goforth clear into 4th. Hagan now starting to drop back In that 28, once you get on the outside, it could really kill you if there's a long line at the bottom and it's not checking up. Goforth now with the run on Freeman. That's going to be for the 3rd position. Kingley and Mears fighting back there with Hagen for that 6th position. As Reed is going to take a look to the outside there, and it looks like he's going to push that Wawa number 1 way too wide in that car. Now he's going to cut back under, so this could be a crossover move by Reed. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. He's going to get to the bottom, but not able to pass him, maybe until turn number 1 as Austin Johnson starts to pull away in the race lead from Riley Wilkin and Ricky Freeman Jr. holding up this 2nd pack of cars. Now Reed all over the back of Freeman. That's for that 3rd position. Hayden Mears now going to use that middle line, possibly get a run around Hagen, and then a run on Kingley on that outside line. That is for the 6th position here down the back straightaway, and that is for some points right there. Goforth, Reed, Johnson, all up here, and Larry Hagen. They are not championship contenders here in the DPDS. This is a one-off for them. But Riley Wilkin, Ricky Freeman Jr., Hayden Mears, Devin Fair, Oliver Kingley, those are all full-time drivers here that could be fighting for the championship near the end of the year. Disparito in the 60 now starting to pick up some spots as she goes after. That's Glenn Mixon in the 68. I don't know if I said that was Luke Evans before. Ryan Butcher in the 24, a couple other cars back there as it looks like Colin Teague's starting to drop back in that number 97 for Toyota Racing Development as Hayden Mears bounces off the wall in the 64. Must have been pushed wide. We'll get a replay on your screen shortly of that, but the 64 just went way wide. He's going to lose about 5 spots there down this back straightaway, and they're 3 wide behind him with Ryan Butcher in the 24. Trying to make some spots. Now Mears to the inside of Hagen. Butcher's going to push up into Teague. This is dangerous here. 4 wide coming through turn number 4 right there. Butcher's going to back out of it. Looks like that's going to cost Daniel Bouchard some time. Now they're 3 wide for that position. And that was real close there coming out of 4 to be a big mess in front of about half the field that's back here as you see the rest of them going on by. Battling each other. Ikna Commit now working his way past Stephen Colin and Matthew Eves, both involved in that earlier incident, losing time there. Now Austin Johnson out in front, pulling away from Cody Goforth by about a second now as they go down this back straightaway. Riley Wilkin clear into 3rd. Ricky Freeman Jr. now has to deal with Anderson Reed, and Reed Racing's number 1 in 4th. And it looks like Reed's going to try to slide up and cut off the run off of the corner. And he will take that spot, so Anderson Reed will take that 4th position. Sideways at the back, that's Disparito going around off the front bumper of Adam Mitchell. Mitchell back into traffic as there goes Diego Yepes up onto the 47 and onto the roof as they all pile in. Multiple cars flipping upside down the front straightaway. Commits in it. There goes the 46 hitting Yepes. Colton Jacobs there as well. And Yepes is going to get hit one more time by Shade Eves. And he's going to come to a stall on all 4 wheels. Couldn't say the same thing about the 76 of Colton Jacobs. 2 cars torn up. Cody Goforth blowing up an engine failure on the 74 as he races back around. And that might have given this race win to Austin Johnson, his biggest competitor, now out of this one. Santiago Gutierrez, the last driver in through the LCQ, torn up 0-1. Mathis Wells' car destroyed. Gatlin Downey, Tony Wallen with some heavy damage. Richard Herman with some heavy damage. Benedict Mirdo, Disparito, DJ Reed for Harmon Benning Peterson is going to be out of this one. And Eves coming back down pit road. I think Stephen Colin in the 46, he made some contact. I don't know if it's going to mess it too far up. Adam Mitchell also torn up in that one. Ikna Commit. So we have a big one on the front straightaway, a big melee that's going to take many cars out of the running in this Fields 100. And it looks like that's going to cut the field down significantly. A ton of torn up race cars back there as DJ Reed's trying to pick up his spot. So heavy damage for many drivers. We're going to have to take a quick replay at this. Possibly throw us under a red flag 13 laps into this event. Heavy damage for multiple drivers. Cody Goforth, his engine expires. So a lot of storylines here. We'll get you guys back to the action shortly, but we got to take a quick replay, see what happened to bring out the second caution. A lot to unpackage here in the second incident of the day. Lotus Disparito and Adam Mitchell were just hitting each other this entire time through 3 and 4. Finally snaps the 60 around, and Mitchell's going to hit the 60, and it throws him up into the rest of the field. Disparito gets through mostly unscathed, but not the same for Adam Mitchell for SBR. He's going to hit the side of the 60, and it's going to put him right into Yepes. Yepes gets popped up onto the top of the 47, and everyone just piles in. DPDS brakes, I guess. But Ikna Commit also piles in there at the end of that. A ton of torn up race cars, and Yepes takes even more beatings from the 46 and 25 as they come by as well. 47 going to be done for the day. Slow motion on this. You're just going to see the 34 hit and then popped into the air by Santiago. Mathis Wells piles in. Now you got Louviere and Jacobs coming in as well, but the 34 is now basically balancing on top of the 62 and 47 as he slides down the front straightaway, ends up back on his roof. You see the 76 get knocked into the air by Richard Herman, slide around and upside down there. Gatlin Downey, good on him to get on the brakes, stays out from hitting the 34. Now here's a better angle of it as he gets popped into the air, heavy hit to the side there. He goes for a wild ride. Downey stays out of it for the most part, but you'll see the 46 trying to get to the inside of him there and just clips the rear, and then the 25 trying to come on through is going to hit him in the front. Thankfully, neither of them hit him in the roof. That could have been bad for the 34. So we're under caution for the second time today. The biggest incident we've seen in the Fields 100 ever. 2 cars upside down, multiple cars torn up here. A lot of guys going to be out of and done for the day here at the Fields 100. We'll get you guys back to the action just after this here at Homestead. Lights on the pace car go out here at the Fields 100 at Homestead. Austin Johnson, your race leader. Riley Wilkin in second. Anderson Reed third. Ricky Freeman Jr. fourth. And Oliver Kingley in fifth. Devin Fair sixth. Glenn Mixon seventh. Hayden Mears eighth. Larry Hagan ninth. Kyle Biscelli 10th. Colin Teague 11th. Ryan Butcher 12th. Alex Fletcher 13th. Daniel Bouchard 14th. KT Larson 15th. 16th is Alex Parker. 17th. Kirsten Martinez. 18th. Nelson Reeves 19th. Chris Louviere, and 20th, Will Parrish. Gatlin Downey, 21st. Stephen Colin, 22nd. Lotus Burrito, 23rd. Matthew Eves, 24th. Ricky Freeman Jr., 25th. Or not Ricky Freeman Jr., that's Benedict Mira, the 3rd, 25th. And 26th, Richard Herman. So, ton of cars out after that one. Cody Goforth out because of his engine. But Mathis Wells, Tony Wallen, DJ Reed, Adam Mitchell, Santiago Gutierrez, Diego Yepes, Colton Jacobs all out, as well as Igna Commit from that major incident and mayhem down in turn number 4 and coming out onto the front straightaway. Bit of a red flag period has brought us back to the green flag here, just over the halfway point in the race. 14 laps to go for Austin Johnson to possibly get his third Fields 100 in a row. Riley Wilkin in second, trying to be the one to end that streak, but Anderson Reed could be a big threat in that Wawa number 1 and third. Ricky Freeman Jr., Oliver Kingley also back there. Kingley and Wilkin in their first Fields 100 appearances. Austin Johnson in the 51, the Veterans Oil Pontiac, is going to bring us back to the green flag, and it doesn't look like he's going to get too good of a restart. Wilkin is there, and he's going to look to the inside. This is for the lead down into turn number 1 already, as we are back underway, and Reed's going to push him through, so this could be what ruins Austin Johnson here, but Johnson's going to fight back on the outside, trying to get that momentum. No, he is not, as Reed pushes that 23 right up there, so Johnson's back to third. He's going to have to fight for this race win if he wants it. Top 3, though, have pulled away a bit from Ricky Freeman Jr., Devin Fair, and Oliver Kingley, and a big gap back there to Glenn Mixon, Hayden Mears, and Larry Hagan, who are now 3 wide for the 7th position. And now Anderson Reed shoves Wilkin out of the way. That's going to be for the lead, as here comes Reed in the 1. He's going to take that spot away as Johnson holding up that second group. This could be Johnson's downfall. It does not look like he got a good restart, or something's happening to the 51 that could cost him this race win. But now Wilkin there in the 23 looking back to the bottom. Johnson's going to hold on. Now Hayden Mears is going to make contact with Kingley and put Kingley into the wall coming through turn 1. So that's the 85 gone out of this one as Hayden Mears gets real aggressive with it. Now Johnson's going to get the move to the inside of Reed, and everything's happening on this restart. Now Johnson has to chase down Riley Wilkin in that 23, and look at Devin Fair in the 27, what was thought to be a road course ace. Not good on the ovals. He's up in 5th after getting the fastest testing speed in the January Daytona test for the Cup Series for Monster. He's up in 5th here at a very technical track of Homestead. Mears clearing to 6th, Mixon 7th, Hagan 8th, Biscelli in 9th, and Butcher 10th. Colin T. Now Bouchard going to make a big dive down to the bottom, going out to the wider angle as you see Biscelli get actually booted out of the way by Ryan Butcher. Johnson trying to catch back up to Riley Wilkin as this pack right here is where we're watching. 2 and 3 wide as Hayden Mears is going to get turned a bit sideways coming off of the corner. Gonna keep it ahead of Glenn Mixon, though, and Biscelli now with a power move, gonna pick up a couple spots here in that 66 if he can stay up there for Maverick Motorsports. But 2x2 from 6th all the way back to about 15th or 16th. Couple more damaged cars at the back. You see Kingley now behind Will Parrish, so his great day is pretty much over. Richard Herman is very far off the pace, but there's no minimum speed requirement here. Actually, I don't know if he's that far off the pace. He might have just pit because he was looking like he was running 130 down the straightaways, and that's what everyone else was, so he might have pit. But there is no minimum speed in the Dr. Pepper Dash Series, so these lappers will be there if they are damaged. But Wilkin now just 10 laps away from making history and being the only other driver to win the Fields 100. But the driver that is king of this racetrack, Austin Johnson, chasing him down back there in that second position. The only thing is, does he have enough time to get back up there and pass Wilkin as Wilkin goes a bit wide? This is going to come down to the wire here with just 10 laps to go this time by. Freeman's clear into third. You got Devin Fair in fourth, fighting Anderson Reed. That's fourth and fifth. Ryan Butcher up to sixth after he started roughly mid-pack there in that 24-13th. He's moved up pretty strong as they're 3 wide behind him. Alex Fletcher now breaking into the top 10. Fletcher started this race 27th. He's up to 10th, so a big mover of the day there. Larry Hagan's car starting to fade, so is Colin T. Gatlin Downey with as much rear-end damage that 35 has. He is passing cars left and right. Some great moves here by Downey in that 35. Started this race 25th. He's up inside the top 15 with that move. There's Disparito back there, Oliver Kingley as well. But the lap traffic, we'll see if that will play a factor, as now Johnson closed it to 0.67 seconds last time, but it looks like this time it's going to be a bit further. And it opens back up, loses 4/10 there, but now Wilkin's going to have to watch out for this Gemini number 10 of Richard Herman, who is going a bit slowly around the racetrack. So we'll see if that could cost Wilkins some time, and it looks like it does there, as Johnson's going to get a big run coming off of 2 and is going to pick up probably another half a second off of that number 23. So Johnson is on the move. He's coming for the race lead. We'll see if he can hang on to the end. But Toyota in their first points-paying race for the DPDS, we'll see if they can break through and get that race victory. But Herman is not moving out of the way. I'm pretty sure he's on the lead lap. No, he is yeah, he is on the lead lap, so he doesn't want to go a lap down, and now Wilkin's going to get to the inside of Herman, and he's going to take that spot away, as Johnson gained about 0.6 that time, but Herman's going to tuck in behind Wilkin, and we'll see if Austin Johnson can make as easy work as Wilkin did around that number 10, but now you got Freeman back there. Herman's going to slow him down coming off the corner, so that's going to ruin his entire straightaway, but now Johnson's going to get to the inside and will probably outpace him. He has to hope Ricky Freeman Jr. in that 9 does not get up there, though, as Freeman in the 9, the Parker's Kitchen KCM Ford, is now into the 3rd position and right on the back of the 51 of Austin Johnson. And he's pushing him through. Johnson, real slow, is going to ruin a bit of Freeman's speed down the front straightaway. That might have been the plan, to get him just a bit further away from that 51, but now Johnson in the 51 is trying to catch up and pass Wilkin with just 7 laps to go, and he could be a 3-time winner of the Fields 100 here at Homestead. But it's down to 0.74 seconds, so just about 3/4 of a second. One car into the wall at the back. Looks like a black car, and it is. That's Nelson Reeves in the 99, so that's going to cost him pretty much all his track position he's been working so hard this race for. But now Austin Johnson is right there on the back of the 23. This could be for the race win right here. With 6 laps to go this time by, we'll see if Johnson can work his way past Riley Wilkin. Wilkin in his first ever attempt at Homestead in a Dr. Pepper Dash Series car. This was the first weekend he ever drove this. So now he's trying to win, the driver who has 2 Homestead victories in his career. Looking further back now, Fair going after Anderson Reed. They might make some contact, as Fair's going to throw him all the way up the track, push that one up and out of the groove. Coming off of turn number 2 there, it's going to be a drag race between these two for that 4th position, as Ryan Butcher starts to close in that 6th position in that number 24 Toyota back there for Butcher Gatorade Motorsports. But Johnson is not having the pace that we've seen out of him before. He's won this race by 3 seconds, 4 seconds even, in previous years, and now he is about 7/10 behind the Toyota Camry of the number 23 of Riley Wilkin, as Devin Fair has been shot out of a cannon, cleared up into 4th now, looking for 3rd on Ricky Freeman Jr. Can the road course ace upset everyone and win this race? I don't think he's going to be able to get around the 51 and 23 both in the next 5 laps, but a 3rd place run for the 27 right now after starting 10th is phenomenal for a team that missed this race last season in MJ Motorsports. His teammate also for this weekend, Diego Yepes, was up and over on top of the 47 about 10 laps ago, so this has to be a good showing for them there for Devin Fair in the 27, but now it's running out of time. He's got 4 laps now to do it. That's not a lot of time here at Homestead. Plus, we do not have green-white checkered finishes in the Dr. Pepper Dash Series, so Austin Johnson has to start pushing in that 51 as that froze there for a second, but Austin Johnson will be right now chasing down, trying to chase history as a 3-time winner of the Fields 100 as Riley Wilkin is running away with it for Henson Racing in that 23 team. I saw up there's Matthew Eves, 1 lap down in the 25. He's running right now a 45.7 to a 42.4, so he's running about 3 seconds slower than the leaders. He just crossed the line there, so I think he will be the factor at the end of this one possibly against Riley Wilkin, and already he almost took Rose Henson out of the Troyer 75 after crashing into her in the heat, so now we got to see... Oh, wait, no, he crashed out Logan Cloud, not Rose Henson. So never mind, that storyline doesn't matter. But it is Wilkin out in front. Johnson now is closing in that 51, but you also have Fair, Freeman Jr., and Reed back there fighting for that 3rd position. It's a big gap back to Butcher, Parker, Bachelia, and the rest of the field. This is where the big pack is, though, so if an incident's going to come out, it's going to come out from those guys. But Johnson has brought it down now to under half a second, looking for this race victory, looking for anything he can do to get up there and pass the 23. 2 laps more to do it if he's going to be the winner of this year's Fields 100. Wilkin has been driving a phenomenal race, got the lead on that opening restart, and then opening start of the race, and then just lost all that time. Now Devin Fair is catching Johnson. That could be the battle for second as he gets a big run, and that could give the lead, give the win to Wilkin as Fair is going to look for that 2nd position, and that might be just too late now for Johnson. He cannot defend that right now, and the 51 of Austin Johnson, his Fields 100 streak, is going to come to an end today, as Devin Fair will clear him into 2nd almost, but they're not going to clear him as Wilkin is pulling away, coming to the white flag. The Rabobank number 23 is on his way to winning in the biggest race of the Dr. Pepper Dash Series. Now it's a second between them. There is Fair. Now as Johnson drops back, Matthew Eves in the 25. Will he screw up anyone here in that number 25 as we come to the end of this race? Johnson is going to clear back, or try to clear back into 2nd as Matthew Eves now. Wilkin is catching him big time. Will he screw up the race leader? And Wilkin has to sit behind him through the corner. I think it's going to be too late for him, though, for anyone to try to catch him. Johnson's going to come up just a little too short. We're going to have a new winner of the Fields 100. Riley Wilkin for Henson Racing. The number 23 team celebrates. They win the Fields 100 at Homestead. And the streak is over. 2 years in a row he won this race. He was looking for his 3rd and just could not catch Wilkin at the end. Devin Fair going to come home with P3. Great run for MJ Motorsports. Anderson Reed 5th. Ricky Freeman 4th. But the 23 team, bad fast all weekend long, won their heat, and now Wilkin gets to celebrate in victory lane, made that early move. Austin Johnson can't be too disappointed by it. That's just going to move his average finish from 1st to 1.33, which is still amazing at any track you go to in the NSDCA, especially 3 years in the running. He won heat number 1 and almost could have capped off a pretty good weekend. Will not, though, for that 51 team, comes home 2nd, but it is Riley Wilkin for the 23. A great start compared to last season. I believe Stottlemyre missed this event last year for Henson Racing, but it is the 23 car coming home with the victory. Great run by Devin Fair coming home in 3rd. Alex Parker 7th. Kyle Bachelia 8th. Alex Fletcher from 27th to 10th. A fantastic day for Cyclone, especially after in the Troyer 75 he was flipping down the front straightaway. But you also have other drivers. KT Larson comes back to a 15th place finish. Oliver Kingley not too happy. He finishes this race in 20th. 27th through 35th, all out of this one. Thankfully, everyone is okay from those incidents. Yepes was just taken to the local hospital for further evaluation before he heads to Daytona, and that's where our next stop is in the NSDCA, the Mountain Dew Custom Series, Crown Royal Truck Series, and Sundrop Cup Series. Well, I'll be driving at the high banks of Daytona International Speedway, ready to kick off the season for those races as well. The Fields 100 shocks everyone this year. Two big crashes in the, one big crash in the middle of the race is going to bring us to a green flag run to the end in the second half of it, where Riley Wilkin was able to hold on over Austin Johnson, who had to fight with Devin Fair, Freeman, and Reed to try to just hang on to that second position. So it looks like the king of Homestead loses his crown for a week, but he is still one of the greatest to ever drive this racetrack. The rest of Speed Week's coming up soon. The Clash will be coming up this weekend, as well as pole qualifying for the Mountain Dew Custom Series, Crown Royal Truck Series, and Sundrop Cup Series. A lot of action left to go here on the NSDCA. A lot of racing left to go as this season is just kicking off. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Fields 100. Congratulations to Riley Wilkin and Henson Racing to get that race win. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time on the NSDCA.